BlizzCon.
Well, the winner goes straight to BlizzCon next week.
Yeah, that's something worth.
Well, there's
worth
Lava
going
Burst.
for.
We actually had not seen DieMeng draw Lava Burst yet in any of these games. You've seen him
I
play
think
the
we
Shaman.
saw him in
I would say today.
yeah, today.
Yeah.
Today, that's true.
Earlier on. There's some nice curving here from DieMeng. He does have a 1 and a 2. He could also keep the Rockbiter if he wants to use it for removing an early minion from Pinpingho's side.
I think Rockbiter is the only card you'd consider keeping here, right?
For Pinpingho, yeah, I think so.
I believe so. Defender of Argus is pretty strong, but it's slow.
Yeah.
It's a card that you want in the matchup, but you need to be able to interact in the early turns. You want to find things like Zombie Chow, like Haunted Creeper, that allow you to contest your opponent's minions with your own.
Yeah, almost certainly he will lean towards trying to increase his chances of finding those cards that you mentioned.
Well, we saw a 2-drop there briefly, and it is going to be a Nerubian Egg
And a Totem.
with the Totem Golem and an activator for the Nerubian Egg. The interesting thing is, I believe you have to lead with a Totem Golem just so you don't have to commit to playing a buff the following turn.
Let the turn 1 greetings coming from both players.
Greetings, friend. They're friends. They're both thralls.
It's very nice. So much on the line, but still showing a lot of sportsmanship.
Will we see the double 1-drop again? Oh, certainly now.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Here they come. And we're actually talking during Pinpingho's first match that he's actually, if he is sort of stuck to form of many of the versions of Shaman he's played in the past, he typically doesn't run with very much healing in his decks. If
I think we've seen none of that
Yeah.
at all
So
in the last game.
That's a very dangerous thing in a deck like against a deck like Mech Shaman that can put on a lot of pressure and then has those burn spells to end the game.
Yeah, definitely. If when you get the Defender of Argus down, even if you have strong taunts, the damage might already be done from the early minions, and he would be dead to something like just a Crackle or the Lava Burst.
I'm calling it now. Tuskar Totemic into Vitality Golem wins the job's done.
Wow.
Vitality Totem, not Golem. I was thinking Totem Golem.
He goes with the egg here, and that is pretty interesting to me. It allows him to use the Rockbiter and the Flame Tongue Golem, but the Annoyatron is the perfect counter to both of those things.
The perfect thing.
Yeah, if he had dropped the Totem Golem that last turn, he could have potentially played the egg and had something to contest the Annoyatron this turn. But now, Pinpingho's stuck in an awkward spot where he doesn't have a great way to use his mana.
I still like to play it though. I think it was really cool because by doing this, he could have Rockbiter that and traded it, getting that 4/4, but it's just the Annoyatron.
It offers the most efficient possible play, but unfortunately lines up very poorly against the Annoyatron that DieMeng happened to have in his hand.
Yeah.
I think one aspect of DieMeng's Shaman deck that we've understated is the fact that Shaman as a class, the weak point is really if you start losing on turn 1 or 2, you're done, especially with an aggressive version. But his deck having such a ridiculous number of 1 and 2 drops, it makes it so unlikely that that situation would ever arise. He's always winning on turn 2 or 3, and he's always getting those first few attacks. While he doesn't have some of the finishers, some of the mid-range cards that we've wanted to see in the past, oh man, that is strong.
And here, Pinpingho having to use the Rockbiter just to break the Divine Shield on the Annoyatron, trying to set up the Flame Tongue next turn to be able to allow him to trade that egg into one of the other minions, but the Flame Tongue from DieMeng clears out the Totem Golem, leaving him kind of back at square one.
Yeah.
This spare part is actually a very powerful one as well because it's pretty unlikely that Pinpingho will be able to deal with the board, especially that totem, anytime soon, as the other creatures are easier to deal with right now. So if that totem does make it through, he can maybe return it and reposition it to get some bonus damage in a future turn.
That's true. Sure. Rough turn here. He might end up just hexing the Flame Tongue. But you want to pop that egg, but it only takes one. I mean, if you could choose to go with the Flame Tongue and you pop that egg to get that 4/4 out, it only takes one power off the board because the Flame Tongue buff would shift.
The Annoyatron is the only mech.
Well, that is true. DieMeng does have a second one in his hand, so if you Pinpingho, maybe that's a consideration that you also have to think about. So there is a chance that there is no more mechs coming.
Alright, well there is no mech coming, and things are going to start looking really bad here. I mean, how much? This is 12 damage.
Yeah, getting close to lethal already.
I mean, the Clockwork Gnome and the Power Mace can come down for DieMeng this turn. That he can, even if he wants, he can just clear this off. I imagine he will to protect his Flame Tongue. And oh no, he's actually just going to go with the Piloted Shredder. You know, strong minion here gets in for 5 damage. So now, with the Piloted Shredder, he's actually even resilient to something like a Lightning Storm. If Pinpingho were to pick up a Lightning Storm to try and clear the board, it really wouldn't do that much. And now Pinpingho, the Shaman himself, is on the back foot against DieMeng's Mech Shaman.
Yeah. I feel, though, that Hex kind of gets quite a bit of damage off the board, again, because it denies the Mech.
Unfortunately, the 0-1 is not actually
Not actually
0-1.
0-1.
Yeah, it's going
That
to be
is
a
a
2-1
that is an
frog.
angry frog right there.
Yeah.
It is.
That's going to do it, actually. Is it? No, it's
not
5 and 5.
Quite,
5 and
not
5, no.
quite, but it's very, very
It's
close.
10 damage.
And as we were saying, Pinpingho is not really known to run with a lot of healing in his deck, if any. So even if Pinpingho is able to survive this turn and clear the board, he's a lava burst or crackle away from just ending the game.
I would expect him to play the Clockwork Gnome here for that extra 2 damage. The Totem Column, yeah, it's a little bit stronger minion than the Clockwork is, but every little bit of damage counts.
Yep.
And he knows Pinpingho doesn't have any healing in his deck, so even if there was some
Basically
kind
needs
of...
a taunt.
Yeah, but even then, like, so many turns. DieMeng still at full HP. There's so many turns for him to draw it, and with that
is not
fire
it.
elemental from the top, I believe that's going to do it, and DieMeng is finally going to find his win with his aggressive Shaman list.
Yeah, there's no taunt totem, there's nothing, there's absolutely no
There's the
circumstance
concession.
that Pinpingho can stay in this game. And DieMeng will advance to the BlizzCon Finals.